Hello, everyone. Welcome to this podcast of Aprende con Will, brought you by Linguistic House. As you know, this is Will, and today's podcast, I have a very special guest, my dear friend, a good friend from the UK, right?
That's right. Thank you, Wilson. Nice to be here. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Joshua Holmes. I'm from Bristol in the United Kingdom, the UK. And I've been living in Ecuador. I fell in love with the country in 2013 when I came backpacking, traveling around the country. I stayed here for 7 months. And I fell in love with the country and the people and the culture. And so in 2017, I bought a one-way ticket from England to Ecuador, and I've started my life here. So that's how I got to know Wilson, through the volunteering opportunities that both he was giving in Quito with Linguistic House before the pandemic, and a project that I had started with volunteers in Quito. Now I'm living in Guaranda, in the center of the country, and very exciting projects that we've begun to build here.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that part. In your own words, what is volunteering?
Well, it was interesting because the other day we had a community event where we invited the people who live in the village and the volunteers who had been taking photographs, had been doing research about the indigenous communities here in Guaranda. And they asked me to say a few words. And the word volunteer, coming from the Spanish word voluntad, the desire to do something, the desire from oneself, not because you're getting paid or you have any specific benefit, it's because you want to give something of yourself, and that is the reward. So volunteering can come in many shapes and sizes, but essentially it's giving your time and skills and knowledge and passion to benefit out something outside of you, to make the world a better place. That's what I see volunteering as being.
What is a volunteer?
What is to be a volunteer? Well, what comes to mind is a volunteer, because we receive volunteers, and I have been a volunteer for a long time. So I'm going to take it from an ideal. What would an ideal volunteer be? An ideal volunteer would be passionate, committed, responsible, enthusiastic. Those are the qualities that I really look for with a volunteer. Sometimes you may get volunteers who they are looking for a place to stay where they don't have to pay any money, and that's their only motivation. And they don't take responsibility. But really, from my experience volunteering, I know what I look for in a space, and I'm trying to give that to the volunteers who come here. A comfortable space, a clean kitchen with lots of resources, support, so that they can really give and be the best volunteers they can be on the project. And there's an exchange there, because it's for me, it's not just about having people who I don't have to pay. It's about me being able to give my experience and support so that people can perhaps even find a new direction in life, or learn new skills and have new experiences. So I put a lot of time and energy trying to create the best experience. So I'm also looking for volunteers who will meet me in the middle, that we will have an agreement in which they are also passionate and motivated and dedicated, so that together we can really make a difference in this world.
What are the benefits to be in a volunteer experience, in that volunteer area, in that volunteer field? I don't know. Let me know.
Absolutely. So again, it depends on the type of volunteering you're doing and what you're looking to do. But from my experience being a volunteer and what we try and offer, I see 4 key benefits. The first one is meeting new people, that you get an opportunity to live and work and play with people from around the world. They can be the people who live there. You might live with a family from Ecuador or wherever you were volunteering. You get to learn about their lives and their experience and their culture. And then you get to meet other travelers, other volunteers, perhaps the same age as you, who you have a lot in common, but you can also learn different experiences from people around the world. They might come from Australia or Israel or North America, and they've all got a very different way of looking at the world. So even if you can't visit all of those countries, you can still get a taste and a feel for what the people who are from there are like. The third point for me is new experiences. So, the second point is new experiences. So there's the time in which you're volunteering, in which you get the opportunity to spend time on a project. And then with your time off, it's often in beautiful places around the world, tropical rainforest, snow-capped mountains and volcanoes. There's so much to see. And it's an excellent opportunity when you've had a week of making a difference, that you can go and share time with volunteers, go swimming in some waterfalls or jump into the sea, and really make the most of life. So volunteering often gets those experiences that you can't get at home. The third point is the new skills that you can develop volunteering. So learning from other people. You can learn, for example, in our projects, we're doing stuff around bioconstruction and building with Adobe, planting trees and forests, developing workshops with the local community. So there's loads of skills that you have the opportunity, especially if you're willing to dedicate more than a couple of weeks of your time. The longer that you can stay, often the more time that a volunteer program can invest in you, because they're benefiting from the investment that they're giving you training and new experiences, which can be really inspiring, because it might even give you a new direction of where you want to go in life. And finally, the last point for me about the benefits of volunteering is the feeling of making a difference, of contributing to the world. It was very easy for me when being in the UK, I saw a lot of people thinking about themselves and their life and what they were getting. But for me, the most satisfaction I've got is when I've really made a difference to other people. So volunteering gives you that chance. It gives you an opportunity to make an impact and to feel like you have some worth and some value, and that you can really make a difference. So for me, those are the key elements of volunteering.
For me, when I had the chance, my first time to be a volunteer, and that changed my life, the way I think that it changed me. It's like I can describe it in only one word. But I want to mention my benefits, what I consider. You mentioned that, or one of the benefits that I have in here is like volunteering make you connect with others, like you say, yeah, that there's no new. Second is like volunteering is good for you mind and body. The third one is like volunteer advance your career. And the last one is like volunteer brings you fun and fulfillment to your life. What you can say about those four, or you can add it, are you at?
Well, that's really interesting that you've also mentioned four, and each one of which you said is, in a way, what you were
Mhm.
saying. So meeting new people. Um, the second one, remind me the second one you just said.
Yeah, it's like it's good for your mind and body.
It's good for your mind and body. So for me,
Mhm,
that's
got
the
it.
contribution. That's making a difference. It makes me feel good about myself. Then you've got, it can help your career. So that's the
Mhm.
new skills that you can develop. And then having fun and being with people, that's the experiences. So I think we're totally in agreement.
How can I see the best option if I want to be a volunteer, if I want to be involved in a volunteer area? What do you recommend? How I found or I find it the best option? I don't know, based on your experience.
Yeah. So the first question for me is to reflect on, what's your motivation? What do you want from a volunteering? Because there are many different types of volunteering that you can do. So are you backpacking and you're looking to find a way to extend your trip, and maybe do lots of different things that maybe you don't need a high skill level? Or maybe you're trying to do something for your university or your studies and you want to stay in one place for 2, 3, 4 months and just focus on one. So it's important, I think, to think about what the goals are and the purpose is. That will often define what kind of program and where you might look. So if you're looking to continue volunteering and find a way to not spend much money, but also build some of those relationships and have some of those experiences, places like Workaway are a good website in which you can sign up. I think it's $20 a year. And then it's got a selection of different volunteering opportunities all around the world. So most of these volunteering opportunities, they will offer you food and accommodation for a certain amount of hours of work, but you won't have to pay any money. A lot of these are living with families, working in hostels. There are some which are more interesting than others, and the quality of the programs sometimes is very positive and you can have a great experience. Some of them, they might be a family that has heard about they've heard about the website, but they haven't been trained. They haven't had any support to really know how to give volunteers the best experience. So some experiences aren't as good. So that's part of the risk. But if you're looking for a way to be able to, for example, continue traveling without spending money, I would recommend that. Also, you can look at certain volunteering pages on the internet. So if you go onto Facebook, there's different Facebook groups. There's several Facebook groups about volunteering in South America. Most of them are in Spanish. And you can apply by looking through the list of opportunities there. Then if you're looking for more support, because most of the volunteerings on Workaway are to help people with their own project, there's not always as much in which you can really make a difference in the community. Because although your time is valuable, it also takes time to manage volunteers. It often requires resources to be able to support them. So we want to do, for example, here in Guaranda, we want to be working with the community more, offering them more, but we can't continue forever because we don't earn any income from that with the free volunteers. But there are some volunteer programs, usually designed for people from Europe and North America, people who've got some money, to go directly to another part of the world and make a difference over the course of 1 to 6 weeks. And you pay for your food and your accommodation and the facilitation and administration of your program, but you get a really high quality experience in which people have been trained, people are legally recognized, and so you'll have a lot more support. So for some people who are younger, who maybe haven't left their country before, that's another good opportunity, a good avenue And there's lots of volunteering websites and organizations, both in Ecuador and in other countries, that can support you to do that. And that will mainly be making an impact in the community or with the environment, supporting the conservation of ecosystems. And then thirdly, there's also the option of perhaps doing a longer term volunteer program as a student, doing an internship where you can apply some of your skills and knowledge, which may have some food and accommodation costs, but it's a lot less than it would be on these other social programs that I've just mentioned.
Joshua, I want to tell you thanks again. And you guys, thanks for, if you've been till now, I want to say thank you to. And Joshua, do you want to sum up, I don't know, say something to the people who has been listening to this podcast so far?
Yes, so just on that final point that you were talking about, many people like to go traveling around the world to see different cultures and different places. But often it's very difficult to really build relationships with these people because you're a stranger from another country. Volunteering can give you that doorway to be able to meet people from different cultures and build some of those meaningful relationships and have those experiences that tourism alone doesn't give you. So if that's what you're looking for, it's a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, it is. And don't hesitate to be in a volunteer program.
Of course. And if anybody would like to learn about Ecuadorian, Andean and indigenous culture, they can come and speak to us at El Terreno in Guaranda, and we are open and receiving volunteers.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really was a good project, and you will know more about the El Terreno, but in Spanish. So thanks, guys, and thank Joshua, and see you next time. Don't forget to follow in our social network on Instagram, on Facebook. Now we are on TikTok, but you know, we want to give our message. So see you soon, Joshua, guys, chicos y chicas. This was our episode with Joshua from the the UK.
Perfect. Hasta luego, Wilson.
Hasta
Un
luego.
gusto.